So really, without any further ado, I'd like to welcome our first speaker of the fall, and that is Mr. Aidan Shea.
One of the first memories I have with my cousins was when we were all in the backyard of their house playing on the swing set. I was on the two-person swing, as you do as a young kid, standing up. I was horribly out of control, and I didn't realize I had just clipped Marina's leg. She was on the ground crying and screaming. I think she was overreacting. What I didn't realize is that she had a gymnastics recital in like 2 hours, and she'd been practicing for months. I kind of felt bad, but I don't know. I think I started crying too because everyone was yelling at me. But to make it worse, Alex, Marina, Maddie, and Luke were all there, and that's one of the main things I remember. I grew up in Andover, Massachusetts, with my family very close. My cousins lived 3/4 of a mile down the road, and my grandparents lived in Boston. I grew up with my older cousins as if they were my brothers and sisters. Luke and Alex are the two oldest, and Luke is the oldest. He is 24 now, and I remember when he turned 16, I used to always ask him to drive me around, especially to eat ice cream. Even though I don't think it ever actually happened. He's a very competitive and confident kid, and he always wants to win. After Luke, there's Alex. Alex is 22 and is just a lot more goofy but athletic at the same time. He's secretly a huge nerd, and he's always fun to be around. Then there's Marina. Me and Marina had kind of a tough childhood growing up where we didn't really get along, and basically we always just kind of fought for attention. I want to start this speech off with Luke. As I said, Luke is probably the most confident and competitive kid I've ever met. If it's a sport he's never played or one that he's very good at, he's going to do whatever he can to win. And age didn't matter. I remember when we used to be in their backyard playing wiffle ball, him being a whole 7 years older than me and wanting to strike me out. I don't know if this was to boost his own ego or if he thought it's going to help me in the long run to not give up, but I don't think I ever got a hit in that backyard. I also remember laying on the ground, looking up to seeing a hand after I just got hit in the face with a baseball from either Luke or Alex, and all I hear is, "Don't tell your mom." So, thanks, Luke. As I got older and a lot better at most things, it got a lot easier to call Luke out on what he says. I remember one time he was talking about how he's the greatest swimmer in the family. I mean, how are you not going to call this? He's never been on a swim team, or there was no way of telling. So we both jumped in the water. The plan was to race to the far mooring and back and see who won. We both started off strong, but we didn't realize we both were swimming the wrong way. We swam way farther than the mooring, and both of us not being swimmers, we were both gassed. I thought I was going to drown, but we both got up and looked at each other, and we stormed back to the beach. The last 10 meters or so were probably the hardest because he was about 6 feet and I was probably like 4 foot something. And every time I would get a lead, he would just pull me back. So I don't think there's a real winner of this, but it's something I'm going to remember. Then there's Alex. Like I said, Alex always came off as an athlete, and which he is, but he's also just an awesome, goofy kid. He's always upbeat and he's always happy to see you. But he's trying to be a teacher right now, and I remember back when he used to babysit for me, Maddie, and Marina, we would learn a lot. One of the first things that we got to learn was how flammable vanilla extract really is. He saw some post somewhere that if you heat up a tablespoon of vanilla extract, it's supposed to make the whole house smell like cookies. So he thought it'd be nice for my parents. He didn't realize that putting a tablespoon of vanilla extract and a tiny spoon over the open flame of the stove would catch on fire and almost catch his dog in the house on fire. Another time we learned something was about velocity. My old babysitter before Alex used to go dog sledding with her dogs, and she liked to do it with my dog Boo. So she left a trike at our house that she would use during the summer. Alex saw his trike one day and thought it'd be a fun idea to strap Maddie and Marina to it and have them pull me and him. What could go wrong? It was awesome. My road has a slight decline in it, so as we started going, the trike gained a lot of speed. The brakes didn't really work on it, and then after about probably 15 seconds, we lost Marina. She was like 10 feet back. She had just dragged a decent amount. Her pants were getting ripped from the rope, and me and Alex and Maddie were all just dying laughing. I think Marina was laughing too. She might have been a little embarrassed, but that was a fun memory. This was one of the times he would just tell us, let's not tell your parents about this. After Alex's Marina, me and Marina had a difficult childhood. We kind of despised each other, but like not really. It was more we both wanted the attention. I was the true youngest, and then she was the second youngest. So it always led to something. She was also very smart and manipulative. I remember the only time she ever wanted to hang out with me was when she would be in an argument with Maddie. She would come downstairs where I usually was because Luke and Alex would be at baseball or something. Be like, "Oh, Ian, you want to go hang out?" And I would always say yes because I just want to be loved by them. This led to when Maddie came back, I was kicked to the curb. Unless, of course, I let them dress me up and put makeup on me and go under the alter ego Aidina. This didn't last very long because then once Luke and Alex found out, they put a stop to it. Unlike Luke and Alex, Marina was not as athletic. She played a lot of sports like fencing, softball, field hockey, soccer, but that wasn't her thing. Then she found theater and music. I never really understood how difficult these things were until I did it myself. I remember looking up into the crowd last year after Beauty and the Beast and seeing Marina. I had no idea she was coming to the musical, so it made it so much better. She came all the way from Chicago just to watch it, and it made me smile a ton. After Marina, of course, I have to talk about my sister, Maddie. So, unlike I feel like a lot of families, me and Maddie always got along. We never really fought, but we definitely disagreed on a lot of things. One being, my family says we know when Maddie's back from college because her car's in the middle of the driveway, so no one else can park. Or you look in the fridge and there's an avocado or a piece of cheese just left out without any covering or not on a plate or anything. But I have learned a lot from her. She's a super hard worker and she always does whatever she can to the best she can. She always takes very hard classes and studies a ridiculous amount, and she always got good grades, even though I did get a better SSAT score than her. I remember when we were on a road trip once, and I realized how much better she was at drawing than me. I thought I was a decent artist, and I would have some sketches here and there, but then I would see what she was doing, and I was always just very envious of it. Especially when it comes to everybody's birthday in my family. Maddie is out here drawing these ridiculously detailed cards that everyone loves, but I'll just sign the bottom. But I do love Maddie, and I don't really mind hanging out with her, even if she squats more than me and my friends. So I want to conclude this speech with just saying I could never wish for a better and more well-rounded family. All my cousins went to Brooks. My parents are always there for me. My aunt and uncle are two people I love being around, and I know I can trust. I also love spending time with my grandparents, and they always make me laugh. But my cousins, they're who I come from. A lot of who I am today has stemmed from them. As I wrote this speech, it reminded me of all the great times we used to have when we were young. Now that everyone in the family is over 18, and I'm the only one that still lives at home, it's weird. Luke travels around places. Right now he's living in Tulum. Alex goes to UMass, Marina goes to Loyola in Chicago, and Maddie goes to Providence. So the past 4 or so years, I haven't seen them as much. But this past year, due to COVID, I got to see them a lot more, which is kind of good. I even did about 3 moves with Alex and 1 with Luke. I'm grateful for everyone in my family, and I look up to them so much. Thank you.